Hello, hello, and a massive welcome back to day 8 of our 60-day spoken English podcast. Wow, Ishani, we have officially stepped into our second week together. Just think about that.
It's a huge milestone, Sam. Honestly, if you're listening to this right now, it means you didn't quit after the first 7 days. That is a massive achievement. Absolutely. Most people give up when things get real, but you are still here, growing every day.
Yesterday, we talked about our families and routines, but today we are going to break the chains that hold most English learners back. We're talking about fearless English.
I love that title, Sam. Today's episode covers 3 vital areas. First, we'll learn how to speak without fear of grammar. Second, we'll master the art of asking questions so you don't sound like you're interrogating someone. And finally, we'll dive into phone call conversations, including what to do when your signal is acting up.
Do you ever feel like your brain just freezes because you're worried about a verb tense? Well, listeners, stay tuned because we are about to change your mindset forever. Let's get started.
Let's address the biggest hurdle right away, grammar fear. Sam, why are so many of us terrified of making a small mistake?
It goes back to school, Ishani. Most of us were taught English through intensive learning. We spent years in classrooms breaking the language down into tiny nuggets of information, rules and conjugations. But the problem is, when you go out into the real world, people don't speak like a textbook.
Exactly. Words come at you at 100 miles an hour. If you're trying to remember a rule while someone is talking to you, you'll get tongue-tied instantly.
Absolutely. The sources suggest a completely different approach, extensive learning. Instead of analyzing the language like a scientist, we need to treat it as content to be enjoyed.
Think about polyglots like Ollie Richards. He speaks 8 languages. He didn't get there by obsessing over grammar books. He got there through massive exposure.
So the secret for day 8 is to read for gist. When you're speaking or listening, don't worry about being perfect. If you can follow the main idea of what's going on, wow, that is enough.
It's actually okay to skip over a difficult paragraph or ignore a grammar mistake if it keeps the conversation moving. In fact, skipping the hard parts is a mature approach to learning because it prevents you from getting derailed or losing your confidence.
Wow. Once you realize that even native speakers make mistakes and use slang like gonna or wanna, the pressure just disappears. Start focusing on completion rather than perfection.
Your brain is a natural supercomputer. It will eventually make this difficult grammar feel normal through simple repetition and story-based learning. So take a deep breath, stop the internal translation, and just speak. Absolutely.
Now that we've lowered the stress levels, let's talk about asking questions. Ishani, if I just walk up to a stranger and say, "Where's the library?" It's grammatically correct, but it feels a bit cold, doesn't it?
It does. It feels a bit like an interrogation. In our sources, we see a much more polite way. Mark asks Nancy, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the library is?"
Let's look at the grammar behind that, but without the fear. This is an indirect question. Instead of "where is the library," the word order flips. It becomes, "Could you tell me where the library is?" The verb is moves to the very end.
Wow. Using could you instead of can you instantly makes you sound more professional and polite. It changes the whole vibe of the interaction.
We also have negative questions, like when someone asks, "Didn't you meet her at the party?"
Right. We use negative questions starting with didn't you or haven't you when we are surprised. It implies, I thought you already did this.
And what about everyday casual questions, Ishani? Instead of the standard, "How are you?" how do friends talk?
They say, how's it going? Notice the intonation, it falls at the end. Or if you want to know where someone is heading, you can say, where are you off to?
And if I want to suggest something?
Use how about followed by an ing verb. For example, how about playing a board game? Or how about a game sometime? This is a tentative suggestion. It means you're introducing an idea without sounding too bossy. Absolutely.
All right, let's move to a situation that makes almost every learner nervous, the telephone call. Why is it so hard, Ishani?
Because you can't see the person's face or their hands. You only have the voice. That lack of visual cues makes people panic.
True. Let's look at a typical call. John calls Alice and starts with, "Hi Alice, it's John." Wait, notice he says "it's John" and not "I am John." On the phone, "it's" is the standard friendly way to identify yourself.
And John uses a very polite and indirect phrase. "I was wondering if you'd like to go to a movie tonight."
I was wondering if you'd like. Wow, that is a magic phrase for when you want to ask for something, but you don't want to be too bold or pushy.
But Sam, what happens when the technology fails? We've all been there, especially with bad signals.
Oh, definitely. If the voice is cutting in and out, you say, "Sorry, the phone is cutting out." This is the perfect phrase for poor reception. If the person is hard to hear, you can say, "The line is breaking up," or "I am losing you."
And if the call ends suddenly, we say the call dropped.
Stephanie responds in the source by asking, "Can you hear me now?" If things are still bad, she offers a solution. "Listen, I'll text you exactly what I need."
Remember that reception on a phone refers to the signal or service. You'll often find bad reception in remote areas or inside large buildings.
When ending a call, instead of just a boring goodbye, try using the phrase "talk to you later." This is the phone equivalent of "see you later." It's warm, professional, and friendly. Absolutely.
We have covered so much ground today. We learned to embrace extensive learning to kill the fear of grammar. We learned how to flip our verbs for indirect questions. And we mastered the art of the phone call, even when the signal is cutting out.
Wow, you are really becoming a versatile speaker. I can feel the progress.
But as we always say, you have to practice to make it permanent. Here is your Day 8 challenge.
I want you to practice a fake phone call. Seriously, hold your phone to your ear and practice this exact script. "Hi, it's your name. I was wondering if you're free for a coffee later. Oh, sorry, you're cutting out. I have bad reception here. I'll text you the details. Talk to you later."
Doing this out loud, even to an empty room, will build that muscle memory. When a real call comes, your tongue won't freeze.
Absolutely. You are doing great. Tomorrow, for Day 9, we are going to look at English for customer support jobs.
Even if you don't want a support job, these phrases for handling complaints and saying sorry professionally are essential for any workplace or high-level relationship.
Thank you for being here with us. Keep practicing, keep listening for the gist, and don't let grammar hold you back.
I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, take care, and stay fearless.
Bye-bye, everyone. Stay confident.